You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Then 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
So
well,
Wyatt
first off,
I was gonna say, Wyatt, you need to unmute yourself there, buddy.
Right. First, you've got to unmute yourself before you can talk. That's always nice. That's always a part of it. But nonetheless, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's been a wild intro so far. But nonetheless, we're gonna get kicked off here. And Torry, how are you doing today, sir?
I quit my job today.
That's always fun.
Today was the last day at my job after 20 plus years. Monday I start my new venture. I am excited and scared all at once. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a new challenge. It's a new career, and they paid me a hell of a lot more money than I was making currently. So great way to do things.
Nice. That's how we like it. Well, as we get into today, I do want to mention last night we ended early, and we do apologize for that. And if you saw the video I put out, we are going to extend Shop Talk for the day today. That will start at 9:30 instead of 9:45 now for tonight. So that's kind of our section of the show where we get to really interact with you guys, the fans who are listening. So, we love doing that. That's our favorite part of the show. Of course, you guys get to interact as we go along, but that is genuinely the part where we stop, we look at your questions like the whole time, answer every single one we can get to, and we didn't get to do that last night. So tonight, we're going to dive deep into every question that you have, and that's about as dangerous as we're going to get. But for our question for the day, before we get kicked off here, Torry, I'm sure I know what you're going to say here on this one, but if you could be on the Suns or the Bucks, which one would you rather be on? Which one would you rather choose?
Obviously the Bucks. One, not only because obviously I'm a Bucks fan and I've suffered through a lot of really bad years with my poor Milwaukee Bucks, but the other part is if the Bucks come back and they win this NBA title, this will be the 3rd straight series that they have come back from and won. So this game 5 that is coming up on, what is that, on Sunday night now? Like, I think Sunday they play?
Yeah, they're doing a lot of, I'll look it up real quick and figure it out.
They're doing a lot the way the schedule.
I know. Normally it's just like you play a day, you don't play a day. You play a day, you don't play. Even if you got to travel across the entire country, you still play a day, rest a day, play a day, rest a day, play a day, rest a day until we get through this entire thing. But we haven't been doing that right now.
So the Bucks have been in this playoff series synonymous with stealing a game, a late game on the road.
It's Saturday. So it's Saturday. Game 6 is going to be Tuesday. Here my computer will not.
We won't need game 7 because the Bucks are winning the next 2 then.
Right. I like the confidence. I like the
Because
confidence.
this is the spot where the Bucks have been successful all year. Like they have been terrible on the road early on in series, and the one knock like on Budenholzer, besides throw it to Giannis in the middle and then let everybody collapse on him, has been that he has not made good adjustments on the road. He actually, this playoff series, has made really good adjustments on the road. He lets them do what they want to do the first couple of games on the road so he can kind of see what they do. And then come game 5, game 6, game 7, whatever it is, he has made those adjustments to get the Bucks the win. I am ecstatic right now. I actually went to bed thinking they are going down 3-1 because I could not stay awake for the rest of the game. I watched midway through the third quarter. I'm like, this is over. They are trash. They are done. And all of a sudden, I woke up this morning and I said, Echo, what was the score of the Bucks game last night? And Echo said, it was 109-103, Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, she's answering me now. Echo, stop. So I was
nice.
At 5:30 this morning, I was extremely happy. And I read a couple of different articles today about what happened in game 4. And they said the Bucks don't need Giannis to score 40 points a game. They just need Giannis to have them collapse the defense like they did in game 4. And Giannis still had 26 points. Middleton went off for 40. At that point, that offense, if they are hitting, they shot 21%. 24% from three-point land in game 4 and still won that game.
Yeah.
They are not going to shoot 24% every single game. Devin Booker scored 42 points last night in that game. Devin Booker had a hand in his face every single shot he put up. Even the first half, when I was watching, Booker had somebody right here. Like there was a hand right here in his face. And he was still scoring. I was like, they're done. They are done. Booker is on fire. Booker scored 42. Middleton scored 40. So it essentially canceled each other out. Literally, and this is why I say the Bucks have the advantage now. Phoenix took their best shot, and we both called it that this was going to be a very close game last night. And it was. It was a very close game, 109-103. Phoenix took their best shot at the Milwaukee Bucks last night and lost. The advantage just now went to the Milwaukee Bucks.
You think so?
I do.
I think the advantage still lies in the home team. Like, I want to so badly. It sucks, honestly, because, like, this couldn't have been the Suns versus the Nets or, like, the Bucks versus, any Western Conference team we don't care about. But
like the Lakers.
Sure. Except for me. No, but it had to be like the two good guys. Like either way, Giannis loses, which is going to be heartbreaking for everybody, or Chris Paul loses his one opportunity, which is going to be heartbreaking for everybody. Like seemingly there's not a win in this. Like I want to see Giannis win. I really do. But I also at the same time want to see Chris Paul win. So it's like we're just caught in this weird middle ground it honestly just like makes you not want to root for anybody. I know you want to root for the Bucks. You're a Bucks fan, but like
I was going to say, what do you mean not want to root for anybody?
Right. No, I mean like me who's a non-Bucks or Suns fan from the outside, it honestly makes you not want to root for anybody and just enjoy the basketball. And I think that's why this finals is like the most viewed finals in the last like 4 or 3 years, something like that, because
it's not LeBron versus the Warriors. That's
right.
why.
Well, that's exactly. It's too. Would we consider Phoenix small market? I wouldn't consider them.
Yes, they are. They're considered small market teams.
Okay, so it's two small market teams. That's what it is, and everybody is really loving it. And at the beginning, a lot of people were complaining about it, but as this has kind of gone on, this is probably the best well matched up duo that we could have seen play in the finals. Other than maybe the Nets and the Lakers, that's the only other duo I can think in my head right now that would have been well matched. But this is perfect. The one team's strengths is the other team's weaknesses, and one team's strengths is the other team's weaknesses, and it's awesome to get to watch. I think this has got to be the most entertaining finals, in my opinion, since 2012 or 2013, what was it, whenever Ray Allen hit that shot and it went to game 7, or even the 3-1 comeback with the Cavs over the Warriors. But it's so entertaining. I love watching this. It seems like every game somebody's performance gets a little better. And have you noticed this about every game? Every single game somebody goes off. Game 1 it was Chris Paul. Game 2 it was Devin Booker. Game 3 it was Giannis. Game 4 it was Chris Middleton.
No, game 4 was Giannis. Game 4 was Giannis too. You're right. Excuse me, you're correct. Game 4 was Middleton as well. Yes.
Yeah. Middleton finished with 40, and like you said, even though Giannis put up 26, you're always going to get that score on him. But Middleton is genuinely proving that if he is what's going to be the championship factor. Like I said, Giannis is always going to get his 30 points. He always lands right around the 30 mark. Whether if he goes over and gets 42, whether if he goes under like last night and gets 26, still with a great performance. Either way, Giannis is going to get his around 30.
He's averaging 34. He's averaging 34 and 12 in the finals.
Right. Either way, Giannis is going to get his buckets. But it's really now starting to come down to the fact of, is Middleton going to pop off? If Middleton plays great, then the Bucks have I don't know what the stats are on this, but I would go as far to say if Middleton has a 40% plus shooting game, the Bucks are probably undefeated or maybe one loss. When he shot 40% or plus in the finals, or actually in the playoffs, they are undefeated when he's gone over 40%. It makes sense though. It makes sense though. And you said it coming into the playoffs. He is the X factor in this team. He is what makes it run. If Middleton is playing well, the Milwaukee Bucks play well. Drew Holiday is seemingly right now kind of starting to be that guy who is on the fringe. Chris Middleton kind of struggled at the beginning of the series, couldn't figure it out, but it seems like he's figured his way out now. Now is Drew Holiday going to figure it out? If Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton play well, I don't think anybody can stop the Bucks. I don't think that there is a formula for that because like I said, Giannis is always going to play great, but when those two play well alongside Giannis, it's seemingly impossible to win that game. I mean, it is seemingly impossible. But the other question that I want to propose before we head to the first break and jump into some headlines, at this moment, would you rather have a 2-1 lead and have to win 2 road games to win it all, or would you rather be down 3-1 and have to win no road games and all home games to win it all? You got to win 3 home games, or you got to win 2 road games to win it all. Which one are you taking?
I'm still taking the 3-1. If I have 3 home games in a row, yes. Because guess what? Your crowd is going to be electric, straight electric during those games because your back is literally against the wall every single one of those games. Your crowd is going to make so much noise. I don't care who you are, where you are, they are going to make a ton of noise. Give me the 3-1 down with 3 games at home any day of the week. Let me have my home crowd.
All right, well, there you hear it. Torry cares about the fans more than he cares about wins. And so with that being said, we are going to head to our first break. When we come back, we're going to go over some headlines here on Man Hour. And welcome back to Man Hour as we're going to jump into some headlines here. I do want to mention, please be sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate that greatly, as well as become a member on the members only tab on the website where we've got all kinds of exclusive content, as well as $2.99 makes you a part of the fantasy football show that me and Tori host. And yeah, that's the rundown on that. So as for headlines,
How much to get our fantasy football advice?
do what?
How much to get our fantasy football advice?
$2.99 per month.
Wow, that's it. $3
I know, right?
a month.
That's so cheap.
Literally $36 a year.
12 quarters a month.
Most of you pay more than that to get your league entry fees. Like, I don't know what your guys' league fees are, but mine is like $100. $36. That's basically just over a third of what I pay. I would like to make that kind of money because you know what? We are winners here on the Man Hour. We're not third place. We are not fourth place. We are not second place. We are winners. You know what? If you're not first, you're last.
Absolutely. As the great quote from Ricky Bobby comes across, if you ain't first, you're last. That's fine. I shouldn't say it's from Ricky. That is like the biggest thing that I hate that people say about that movie is if you ask them who that's from, they always say, oh, it's from Ricky Bobby. It is not. That quote is not from Ricky Bobby.
It's from his father.
It is from Reese Bobby.
Reese Bobby.
Reese Bobby. Race and Reese, baby. But nonetheless, we are going to hop right into some headlines. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we're going to dive a little deeper here, and it is a sensitive subject, so beware on that. I wanted to toss that out there.
Cover your children's eyes.
Cover your children's eyes. Tori's going to strip naked. No, I'm just kidding. Tori, please don't do that.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
But on a serious note, Richard Sherman 911 call was released. It's very intense. If you listen to it, you listen to the woman on the phone. I believe it's his girlfriend or wife. Her voice. And my question for you, Tori, and for us to break it down here, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. Do you think this is some kind of a sign, a form, a figure, a bounce off of CTE?
Potentially. I think it's more a cry for help. This is something that obviously has been building for a while. And like I said, anybody can have a bad day. And I think that's what he had. He had a really bad day. And it's at that point, it's a cry for help. He wants to have people reach out to him. He wants that help. Like the 911 call, excuse me. If you've listened to it at all, he was threatening suicide on that call. And anybody that knows anything about anything or has struggled with mental illness knows anytime you're making that kind of call, you are looking for help. You want help because you do not want to hurt yourself. You do not want to hurt other people. So if you know anything about depression at all, you never really want to hurt anybody else. You literally only want to hurt yourself, which obviously is not normal thinking.
Right.
And the fact that he made that call says, okay, I want help. And so he was charged with what? Potential breaking and entering to his in-laws' house.
Yeah, some domestic charges.
Yes.
So
there was a plea for help prior to him getting to the point that he was at. And I think more or less he is crying for help without admitting it. And there again, we are a society of masculinity. It is literally the way that things are. And he cried out for help the only way he knew how without being judged for it, in my opinion. So, yes, I think he cried out for help. I think he is in the right on this one. I really hope he gets the help he needs Because there again, as a professional athlete, there is pressures that you do not know to be somebody, to act a certain way, to do what it is that you need to do. And I think he just finally snapped under that pressure.
Sure, it absolutely does seem like that. You know, there was some issues with the call, and like I said, it was a very intense call, and it's sad to see him in that place. You know, this is not who Richard Sherman is, and you know, like I said, it's just a bummer to really see him going through this and see the struggle. I'm praying that he gets the help he needs and is able to, you know, get back on the road to the NFL if that's what he wants, be able to find peace with football and retire if that's what he wants, you know, just as long as he's happy. That's all I would really care about. But as we move on to our next headline, and this is a wild story, and it came out of nowhere. And it's Dwayne Haskins, his wife and him, I guess, got into some kind of an argument, and she hit him a lot, apparently. I'm not sure. She busted his mouth up so badly, his tooth was knocked out and is going to need dental surgery to repair it. So, and it happened. Here's what kills me about this. It happened on July 3rd. We're just finding out about this now. That's weird, but this came so far out of left field. Like, I would have never expected this in a million years. And
really,
it's such
you didn't?
No.
The man was cut. The man was cut from the Washington football team. And here's my thing. We talked about his immaturity level. And at this point, I think it is a combination, even with his wife, is an immaturity level. So he was like, no. And she just belted him in the mouth. She's been charged with felony domestic violence because it's all on camera. Everything is on camera with it. And he, at this point, he may come out and say, you know what? I really don't want to press charges. He has that option at this point. Whether or not he does it, different story. I will say if he has not filed for divorce from his wife, he's probably not dropping those charges if he stayed married to her. Because there again, we know half of the story. It's all on a video. He could have been like, honey, I was sleeping with 12 different women. And she turned around and socked him in the mouth. At that point, if we heard that, it would be justifiable. If he said, honey, I want a divorce and I don't want to be with you anymore, and she socked him in the mouth, we are looking at 100% a completely different scenario. So without any audio from that elevator incident, we do not know what the instance is. And so it all depends. If you go by the Ray Rice video, she's going to get railroaded. If you go by any other kind of video, she's probably not. It all depends where she is and who's looking at the case.
I just want to know what made her snap. Like it just right. Came out of nowhere.
The thing is, it was done in Vegas. It was done. Was it either inside of the elevator or just outside the elevator?
Something. I'm not sure. It was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Like at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. But moving on to our next one here, we're going to talk about the Giannis block for the ages. And two questions here that we're going to kind of go over with this. First question, is this the best block in NBA Finals history? Or we'll just start with that. Is this the best block in NBA Finals history, Torry?
Yes. Because what we have to go off of is so limited as far as blocks to change momentum in a game. The only other one, and we talked about this pre-show, the only other one we have to go off of is the LeBron block in recent memory. I think this is bigger than the LeBron block, because even though that block started their run from 3-1, this stopped the Bucks from going down 3-1. So I think, to me personally, that is a bigger block in history versus LeBron's.
See, and I don't know. I think it's the other way around. I think LeBron is the biggest block ever because, of course, the game was tied at 89 for like 2.5 minutes, and there was only a minute and some change left of Game 7. They have just come back from 3-1. You know, it's a 2-on-1. Iguodala goes up, and LeBron blocks it off the backboard to literally save the Cavs from going down by 2, and in a situation where they probably would have lost if that block didn't happen. But I don't want to take anything away from Giannis in a sense like that, because this block was absolutely incredible. I mean, the guy, so Devin Booker puts up the lob for the alley-oop, and if you look at their body placement on this, he is on the other end of the free throw line. On the far right side, when the ball goes up, he has to turn his body, fully change momentum, and run and jump and block this from DeAndre Ayton being able to dunk it. It was an incredible feat of athleticism. It was beyond, and I do mean beyond, fun to watch. So I don't want to take anything away from Giannis when I say that. But, I mean, that's such a tough decision. They're both so iconic and incredible moments. I mean, but man, I just, last night, and it came out of, it's just like, I thought for sure when DeAndre Ayton goes up in the air, my first thought is, oh man, this is where the Bucks kind of fall back. This is what makes it final. And it's one of those 50-50 shots where if Ayton slams that, the momentum swings, the Suns win. And if Giannis is able to get there in time and block it like he did, the Bucks are able to hang on. And they did. So it was an incredible feat of athleticism. But the one thing nobody's talking about, that was a great defensive play. And not that this was any better. But Chris Paul, with I think like 40 seconds left, something like that, ends up dropping the ball. And they run up the floor with it. Drew Holiday has it. He dishes it off to Chris Middleton. And Chris goes up, gets fouled, and still lays it in for the and one. That was a wild play as well. I mean, we got all kinds of plays from the final 5 minutes of that game. It was wild. It was so much, like I said, it was beyond fun to watch. And this is like the most viewed final, something like that, in the last like 3 or 4 years. And like we said earlier, I think it is because of these smaller market teams. I think that's what brings these people in to watch. At first, everybody had kind of, brushed it off and was like, oh, small market teams, this shouldn't be happening. They're not going to have the viewers they should because they're small market teams. But no, I think it's more interesting because these are not just two fresh faces, but both teams, there is not one person on both teams that has ever been to a finals before. Like, it's not even like there's a veteran on a team who has been to a couple. There's not any.
There's one.
There is?
Crowder.
Oh, yeah, Jay Crowder. Okay. There's not one that's won a championship. My apologies on that. There's one. There's not one that's won a championship.
Crowder's literally the only player that has been on a team.
Right. Okay. I forgot about Crowder. Crowder, though, was a bench warmer on the Cavs that year.
Or was it the Cavs?
It was Cavs. Because he left the Cavs and he went to the Celtics after that. But yeah, there's not my correction on that. There is not one person on these rosters that has won a championship yet. So the everybody really, I feel like, just is enjoying the fact that we've got some fresh faces. We've got new people in this. It's not the same team. I mean, since 2006, either LeBron, Steph Curry, or Kobe Bryant has been in every single finals. One of those faces has been in every single finals. That is wild. And I think that's really what's drawing all these people to this and making so many people want to watch is the fact that we've got all fresh faces. We've got guys we don't know. There's more at stake here. We've got Giannis, who is still trying to build that legacy, who is still trying to fight his way up the leaderboard for players. Then on the other side, we've got CP3, the good guy, the point guard, who everybody loves, and he's trying to get his first ring. So there's just so much at stake here and so much that's going into this. I think that's really what's drawing all these people to wanting to watch and wanting to be a part of this. And I think that's really where I stand as to why it's so interesting. Do you agree? Do you see anything differently?
No, somewhat I agree, because it's something different from the norm. It's different from what we've seen. It's not Cavs Warriors. Like we saw that, 3 years in a row?
4.
So I think that people are interested because of that reason. So I am okay with the way things are right now, because they're like, you know what? It's something different. People are interested, stuff like that. My big thing is it's 2 small market teams that nobody at the beginning of this year gave a chance to make the finals, myself included. Like, I never thought.
And you're a Bucks fan.
Finals, and I'm a Bucks fan. I'm like,
who did you have at the beginning of the year?
I literally had the Sixers. I had the Sixers in the finals.
You had the Sixers?
Yeah.
Come on, Torry.
What do you mean?
I'm just messing with you.
Like, but the thing is, at that point, the Nets had Durant, and that was it.
Then Kyrie, that was it. They didn't have Harden yet.
Or excuse me, yeah, they had they had KD and Kyrie. So after that, they didn't have anybody. They didn't have Harden. They didn't have Blake Griffin. They had nobody like that. I would have told you, take the Sixers all day long and twice on Sunday, every single time. So, I don't think I was wrong on that at all. Do you?
No.
Preseason.
I don't know though. Preseason, I still kind of thought that it was going to be Nets Lakers. I had that in the back of my head. The other team I was kind of, thinking they had a good shot at too was Milwaukee, and I thought that the Heat was kind of, honestly, with the East, I was really confused. Coming out of the West, I was dead set that it was going to be the Lakers.
You said the Nets. All year long, you were like, Nets.
No, all year long I said Nets. I'm talking preseason, though. Preseason, before I saw anybody play, I had a couple teams up in the air in the East. I always said Lakers, though, from the beginning, because they were coming off of a title. But coming into the preseason, I was kind of up in the air on, I had Nets kind of as my front runner. My second was probably the Heat. My third was probably the Bucks. And then my fourth was probably the Sixers. I think, somewhere along that. And then the Celtics, of course, were there. But I wanted to see how everybody played at first. And then once the Nets got hardened, that's when I was like, okay.
So you're saying you're waffling already.
Huh?
You're waffling on your preseason bets.
No, I was once they got hardened, I was dead set on it then. Hey, it's Lakers Nets, which a lot of people thought that.
Most people did. I will say most people did.
Well, but both teams are so talent loaded, but injuries just caught up with the teams. That was the thing, was, Harden and Kyrie couldn't stay healthy. Kevin Durant had some issues, and with that, they couldn't play very well together. They weren't meshing in the playoffs as well, and then they started getting injured again in the playoffs. And the Bucks they came to play. They were ready. When what hit the fan, the Bucks were there prepared, and the Nets weren't.
I don't know what hit the fan.
Right.
Please tell me.
And on the Western side of the bracket, Anthony Davis couldn't stay healthy. That's always been the knack on his career, was that Anthony Davis has been brittle since day one, and it came back to bite him. LeBron had struggled with a lot of injuries as well, and the Suns, just like the Bucks, capitalized on that big moment. They played amazingly, they capitalized, and they fought their way all the way to where they are now, and here they are. And I do think right now these are the 2 best teams in basketball. I really do. I don't think this is a year of that injuries is what got them there. I don't believe that. I think that, it helped. But at the end of the day,
I'm calling baloney on you right now because you were Nets from mid-season on.
Oh, I was.
Until,
I'm saying right now, though.
Until the Bucks and the Nets played each other, you're like, oh, and there again, and I will 100% say I was with you when the Bucks went down 0-2 to them. I was like, this series is over. There's no way the Bucks come back from this just because of the talent that team had.
Oh, but sure, I said that too.
With the injuries to Harden, with the injury to Kyrie Irving, with the injury to Spencer Dinwiddie,
yeah,
that literally helped that team.
Even with them out, I still thought that the Nets were going to be able to make it. But I'm saying right now, after seeing everything, after seeing how well the Bucks played against the Heat, after seeing how well the Bucks played against the Nets, after seeing how well the Bucks played against the Hawks, and after seeing how well the Suns played against the Lakers, after seeing how well the Suns played against the Nuggets, and then the Clippers after that, I'm saying right now in this moment, I know these are the two best teams in the playoffs right now. They've showed it time and time again, and that's why this is such a close series. That's why they're all playing so well against each other, because it's entertaining. They're matched up very, very well. But our final headline here before we head to a break, and then when we come back, we will have Guess Who, which we've done all week, so you know the rules on that one. We'll explain it once we get to there, but as of right now, the final headline is Tom Brady. And this is an interesting one. So Ian Rappaport reports earlier that Tom Brady had surgery a month ago, which we all knew that, on his knee. Now, it was a minor surgery. Everybody remember that? It was a minor surgery. Come to find out now, it was a partially torn MCL, and he played a Super Bowl on a partially torn MCL. First question for you, Torry, are you buying it? Do you believe this? And second question, if you do, does this just kind of, in a nutshell, wrap up the legacy of Tom Brady? Does it show that, even though we knew he was the GOAT, he still won it on a partially torn ACL the final time or the second last time, however many he ends up winning in the end? But are you buying this? I'll just start with that. Are you buying this?
I am buying it. Because your MCL, so if you know anything about your MCL, your ACL, your LCL, your MCL, you can tear it and still play. Like, it is not that crucial. Like, your ACL, yeah, you're not planting your leg. Your LCL, not planting your leg. Your MCL is the outside muscle on your leg, and you can still plant with that. He could have a partially torn one and still play phenomenal with that. I am going to buy this one, even though, like, Tom Brady, like, had said, like, I lied to the media 90% of the time. I will buy that he had a partially torn MCL, because it is literally not that big of a deal to have a partially torn MCL. Like I said, ACL and LCL, you cannot plant your foot. MCL, you 100% can. Because guess what? Your ACL and your LCL are the important ones. And therefore, when you go to plant, you are 100% fine. So,
well, and there you go. You heard it there from Torry. He could fix your torn ACL if needed. He's a doctor. But we're going to jump into some comments before we head to the break right here. We've got Javier Gonzalez saying, Bucks going to take it. I got 5 stacks on it. Torry, he's got 5 stacks on your Milwaukee Bucks. Do you got 5 stacks on it?
Ain't that rich yet. If I did, I would have put Giannis, money on Giannis to win the MVP of the series at the beginning, because there again, he's averaging like 34 and a half, 11 and a half, and like 7 assists in the finals. So, although I think Middleton is the MVP of this finals so far, just the way he has played and stepped up in crucial situations, they're still going to give it to Giannis just because individual performances rule the world at that point.
Oh, come on. He's averaging 34 and 12, man. Chris Middleton's had 2 good games and 2 terrible games. Giannis has always played good. I think that's what comes back to bite him. Now, if Chris played last night If he played game 1, 2, and 3, how he played last night, I absolutely think he would get it.
If they come back and win the next 2 games and win the title, Middleton gets the MVP.
You think so?
Guaranteed. If Middleton got there again,
I'm struggling on that one. I think Giannis deserves it.
Is the Robin to the Middleton Batman as the Bucks go.
No, because Batman actually shows up 24/7. Middleton doesn't show up 24/7. Middleton either plays like MJ or he plays like me. Like there is no middle of the road. You get prime MJ or you get prime Wyatt. And I can tell you, even though it's prime Wyatt, it's not that good. Okay, I've seen it. I've played it in this body. It's not that good. But Chuck Thomas says Chris Paul playing like crap Suns won't win with those turnovers. Absolutely. Next one here, Giannis, Drew, and Middleton. When they all 3 score, it's over. That's exactly what I said earlier, Chuck. I agree with you.
But Drew Holiday is Ben Simmons right now. He has lost 100% confidence.
I think so.
His shot. Like watching him, like I made comments on it last night on last night's show. He was like wide open, driving his bucket and kicking it out.
Yeah,
because he is not confident in that shot. He has missed a lot of layups. He's missed shots from 5 feet in. 5 feet in? 550.
5 stacks.
550. So he has missed shots from 5 feet in. Last night you saw that. Like he would drive to the bucket like, oh crap, and kick it out because he did not have confidence in himself to make that shot. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to try to get my confidence. And he started shooting threes. And he missed awful on his threes. And all of a sudden he started kicking it back out again. He missed 3 threes and started he went to distributor. He's like, nope, my shot's not there tonight.
Yeah,
the good news is that he recognized his shot was not there, which he did not do in games 1 and 2.
And then Chuck Thomas says here, Nets versus Suns is what I had Lakers many said, but I thought AD injuries would hurt them. You were 100% correct. As we move down the list here, I'll just get to a few of them here. Javi Gonzalez says Nets is the best if they stay healthy. They've definitely got a heck of a lineup there. Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Portland, Jazz, Mavericks, Warriors. Most West teams did what we thought they would do. Then he says, shout out to Memphis and Atlanta. Surprise teams, especially like Memphis surprised me that they were able to move past Golden State. They didn't surprise you. Atlanta surprised me that they even at the beginning of the season, they even made it.
Yeah, the way that Atlanta started off the season, it surprised me. But once they got on track, they were the team that we all thought they should be.
Oh, sure. But at the beginning of the season, if I would have told you that they were going to the Eastern Conference Finals, there is no way. You would have slapped me in the face, Torry, because I would have slapped myself.
100%. But if you would have told me they're going to make the playoffs, I said absolutely they should. So this was a team that started off horribly. They fired their head coach. They put an interim head coach in, and they turned it around. They did things exactly the way you're supposed to. So I don't know. It doesn't shock me that they made the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolutely. So and with that being said, Javier also says, and I believe he's playing hurt with that knee. He's a monster. LOL. I think he's talking about Tom Brady, of course. But yeah, like you said, Torry, you buy it. I buy it as well. Buck, though, he's not on the show tonight. You guys will have to grill him when he gets back next week. He doesn't believe it. He's not buying it whatsoever. And I think Buck is crazy. He's losing his mind, but we all know that because he said Lamar is trash. But with that being said, we are going to jump.
Lamar's trash.
Do what?
He always says Lamar is trash.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
he is insane. Insane.
Says some crazy stuff. And that is for sure. But we're gonna head to our second break here. When we come back, we've got some Guess Who. Be sure to stay tuned though at 9:30 instead of 9:45 tonight. We are going to get Shop Talk kicked off early because we missed some time last night. That is our segment where we get to interact with you, the fans. So we are absolutely going to dive deep and hit those topics we didn't get to last night due to the short stoppage. But nonetheless, we're going to get to that at 9:30. But right now, we're going to jump to a 2-minute break. When we return, we've got Guess Who. We will see you back in 2 minutes. And welcome back as we get ready to jump into some Guess Who. But of course, the guy joining me not here, but guess what? He is here now. He just jumped in. The sexy guy with is that a Florida Gators hat and a G.I. Joe shirt? Is that what that is?
Florida Gators? Are you kidding me?
You're a Gators fan, right?
Can you not see the G on that?
That's definitely That's definitely Gators.
That's a Green Bay Packer hat.
You're a big Florida guy. Of course, as we know, you hate all Wisconsin teams.
I will come to Indiana and ruin you. I will ruin you.
We're gonna jump into Guess Who.
What's the name of the university?
Half Sale. Remember from last night?
It will become Half Sale.
We're gonna dump deep into that. I did that yesterday. We're going to jump deep into some Guess Who. Basically, Torry, you get 10 questions and then a final guess at a player that I'm thinking of. It's all yes or no questions. And your first question, sir.
Are they a football player?
Yes.
Are they in the AFC?
No.
Are they in the NFC South?
No.
The NFC West?
No.
The North?
No.
It's the AFC East.
No, NFC East.
Or NFC East. Oops.
I wanted to stop you.
Do they play for the Giants?
Yes.
Do they play
And
offense?
just when I think I've had you ask a lot of questions, you ask a question that really kind of just get you on that right path again.
Do they play offense?
They do. What is that? That's 6, right?
7.
7, okay.
Is it Saquon Barkley?
Yes, it's Saquon Barkley. And the reason why I bring up Saquon Barkley, of course, did you see the picture of his legs?
He is the
That's
second biggest quads
going
in the NFL behind A.J. Dillon.
It's crazy. He has a picture out right now that's going viral.
Freaking trees.
Literal. That should not be legal. Your legs should not be that big and all muscle. That's crazy. But nonetheless, you start off with the first point of the night, 1-0. And your second question, sir.
Are they a
Stretch that
basketball
neck out.
player?
No.
Are they a baseball player?
Yes.
Do they play in the American League?
No, they do not.
Do they play in the NL East?
Dude. Yes.
Do they play for the Mets?
No.
Do they play for the Phillies?
Yes.
Is it Bryce Harper?
It is not Bryce Harper.
Is it Didi Gregorius?
It is not Didi Gregorius.
Is it Wilson Ramos?
It is not Wilson Ramos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're at 9 now.
So you got, what, 2 questions and a final guess?
Yep. Do they play outfield?
Yes.
I have
50-50
no-
shot.
I do. No, I actually have a 33% shot at this point. Unless you're like, talking about like, somebody that's hurt that hasn't played all year, which you do like to do.
Still on the team.
Yeah, because you're awful that way. It's got to be this guy. Has to be. Is it Andrew McCutchen?
It is Andrew McCutchen. Nice. There you go. All right, you start out 2-0 on the night. God, I thought I would have you stumped on Andrew McCutchen. That was good, though.
I thought I was going to be too.
I used to love watching him play when he played for the Pirates. That was so much fun to watch him play. You did not?
I'm a Brewers fan. No.
Well, yeah. Well, you can still love watching a good baseball player play.
No. Not in your division. Not in my division.
Okay, I'm not a Lions fan, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching Calvin Johnson play as a kid.
That is a little bit different. Like I cannot cheer. I could not cheer for Andrew McCutchen. But my thing is like, so there again, I'm a big fantasy football player, and this is why you finished second and I finished first.
Right.
Because I don't let my fandom get in the way. So, like, I can cheer for almost anybody when it comes to fantasy football wise. But baseball wise, oh hell no. That's a big no. No.
Jesus. All right.
Like,
well,
I will cheer for somebody in the American League versus like, the National League. So because Brewers are obviously the National League now, so
all right. Well, gosh, man. Thought I had you on that one, but nonetheless, your next guess, sir, your first question. Go ahead.
Are they a basketball player?
No.
Are they a football player?
Yes.
Do they play in the AFC?
Yes.
You've been heavy in the AFC East. So do they play in the AFC South?
No.
Do they play in the AFC North?
No.
Do they play in the East?
No.
So they're a West player. Do they play for the Raiders?
No.
Do they
I
play for
got
the
you on this one. I
Chargers?
might have you. Did you? Wait, what was it?
Do they play for the Chargers?
No. Is that 7?
That's 9.
That's 9?
That's 9.
I got a dub on this one. I got a dub on this one.
Do they play for the Broncos?
Yes. If I swear to God, if you guess
Is it Bradley Chubb?
No, it's not.
I went away from Drew. I went away from Drew Lock and Von Miller.
It's not either of them either. It is Noah Fant, the tight end for the Denver Broncos. Man, all right. So I will take that 2-1 deficit now as we move on to our next player. Your question, sir.
We live in a basketball player, so are they a basketball player?
Yes, they are.
Do they play in the Western Conference?
They do not.
Did they make the playoffs?
No.
Ooh.
Or wait, did I say they don't play in the Western Conference?
Yeah, you said they don't play in the Western Conference.
Sorry, yes, they do play in the Western Conference. I apologize about that.
And they did make the playoffs then.
They did not make the playoffs. Everything else, the only thing that was incorrect was I had a brain fart. They do play in the West.
All right, so they didn't make the playoffs. Ooh. Let me think here. Do they play for the Rockets?
They do not.
Do they play for... God, it's so hard. Do they play for the Timberwolves?
They do.
That's 5. Is it Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, it is. There you go. That was an easy one. Dang, I thought that one would have really kind of shook you up a little bit. But you know what? No,
because they're getting more teams make the NBA playoffs than don't make the playoffs.
All right, that's true. That's true. Didn't think about that, but with that being said, that is our 3-1 ender for the night. But we will still finish out that last one. We've got one more left. Your first question, sir.
Do they play with the Peter? No, never mind. Buck edit that out. Do they play football?
No.
So they play baseball?
Nope.
Do they play in the Eastern Conference?
They do.
Did they make the playoffs?
They did not.
Wow. The Eastern Conference sucks. Did they play for Orlando?
They do not.
Well, just eliminate the worst teams in the East. Did they play for... Wait. Pacers made the playoffs, right? No.
Yeah.
Did they play for the Pistons?
No.
Did they play for Washington?
Nope.
Wait, Washington made playoffs, didn't they? Did they play the play-in game?
Washington made the play-in games. I don't think they didn't win in the play-in games.
Did they play for the Bulls?
They do.
Is it Zach LaVine?
That's how we're going to end this segment tonight, is on a 4-1 win for Torry Anderson. Dude, I'm going to start getting like the 14th man on an NBA roster to go against.
That's what you need.
That is what we're going to start doing. But nonetheless, we're going to hop into a break. When we come back, we've got some more great man-hour action coming up for you. Don't forget, like we said earlier, 9:30, we will have Shop Talk tonight. A little farther moved up, we're going to have a large section of the show for Shop Talk. We'll answer all of your sports-related questions that we can get to. And with that being said, we'll be back after 2 minutes. And welcome back to Man Hour as we're ready to dive back into some headlines here. And the first one we're going to talk about is, of course, the Big 12 says, and even in quotation marks, they are cracking down on the horns down that everybody does to taunt Texas. Of course, they said they're cracking down on a lot of taunting, but this is the main one that they're really looking at. And this makes me so mad because we just broke this barrier with the NFL. The NFL is finally now allowing, for 2 seasons now, for people to celebrate, just as long as you don't use sexual references, violence of any kind, and you can't flip anybody off, something like that. You can't have vulgar gestures. So we just broke this barrier with the National Football League, the NFL, the No Fun League. Everybody calls it. Roger Goodell, who has not let any of this stuff go on. We finally broke this barrier. And what does college football do? How do they answer that? They take it and they crumble it up. They swallow it and they poop it out into the nastiest river in the world. I don't even know where I'm going with this right now. But nonetheless, they just tear it up. Why are we taking it? That is what makes football in so many different ways. The game of football is meant to be played loud. You are literally full speed running into each other. It is part of the game. Celebrations, touchdown dances. When kids in flag football score a touchdown or on the playground, what do? They don't walk back over and hand it to the other team. You spike it and flex in the guy's face. That's what you do. It's football.
Maybe in Indiana, not in Wisconsin.
Well, I'm sorry that you weren't.
We have
blessed
manners
like
here.
that.
We have manners here.
I'm sorry that you weren't blessed as a child. But
no, so in Wisconsin, if you were over 100 pounds, like in Pop Warner, you weren't allowed to carry the football.
They had a big X on the back of our helmets.
Yeah. So
I always hated that.
When I was in 6th grade, I had a strip sack of the quarterback and scooped up the ball. And as soon as I grabbed the ball, they blew it dead because I was 118 pounds, and they said, nope, you can't carry the ball.
They carried that to 6th grade.
Yep.
Once we got to 5th grade, so in 3rd grade, it was 100 pounds. In 4th grade, it was 110. You couldn't run the ball if you were over 110. In 5th grade, they shut it off. In 5th grade, you could run the ball no matter what. And then in 6th grade, of course, and on, it continued. Like but hold on. In 5th grade, I think if you were over 150 pounds, you could only run the ball if it's a fumble and you pick it up. That's the only way you could run the ball. So that's what it was. They couldn't like hand it off to a 200-pound kid and just have to go mow down. Right. Which I get that rule. But like, I just don't understand why they're cracking down on this. Why are they being such babies about this? Like, it kills me. It genuinely kills me that the NCAA is going to try to do, especially with the horns down thing. So if that's the case, that's fine. If you want to take away the horns down thing, Texas can't do the horns up thing. I'm sorry. That's only fair.
I would agree. I would agree with it. Like, they can't do horns up because like if people are going like this, what does that hurt? If somebody goes like OSU sucks, what are you gonna cancel that too?
Goes back to the world we live in, just cancel culture.
Right. That's your generation though.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if they can't do the horns down thing, then you should not be able to do the horns up. I just think that is only
100%. I agree.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I am on it, and and it's funny because the NCAA basically made this whole thing about Texas, and they claim that they're cracking down on all taunting. But do you know the only taunting that they mentioned was the horns down?
Was the horns down.
That's the only thing they mentioned. So I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to believe you if you tell me you're cracking down on taunting and the only thing you mention is the horns down thing. That tells me somebody on the some high up on the NCAA board is some butthurt Texas fan or an alumni, graduate, former player, whatever you want to say. That's what that tells me. Somebody that's high up with the NCAA is butthurt and doesn't want to face the fact that, Texas is a joke of a program for the last 30 years. Texas, think about that. I thought about this yesterday. Texas football is IU basketball. Formerly a national powerhouse that won 100%. National championships over and over and over again, but they are a joke now, a complete joke. IU basketball is Texas football. They're parallel. They are lined up side and side.
UT is what the University of Tennessee is now. Like Tennessee still thinks that they're a good football program.
Nothing in this world makes me more mad.
Have not been relevant since Phil Fulmer left that program.
Right. Nothing in this world makes me more mad than fans of teams who their team hasn't been relevant for 20 years, and all the time they bring up, we got Super Bowls.
Notre Dame fans?
Notre Dame fans. Steelers fans do that a lot. We got 6 rings. That's great. What, 4 of them came from the 70s? Your dad probably wasn't even born, man. It kills me. I can't do it. I hate when fans bring up old stuff like that because they weren't even alive for it. So you can't sit here and brag to me that you've got 6 rings when you were now. And the Patriots fans, I completely get because that all just happened. It was
and there again,
via the football god.
The Packers have 5, but what 2 decades did we win Super Bowl rings in? 70s and the 80s. We have a ring in the 60s. We have a ring in the 2000s. We have a ring in the 2010s. So
we get one in the 2020s.
Show me another organization that has that, because it's zero. Haters gonna hate.
It is true. Chicago Bears fans, and if you're chumps like them, they've only got one in 1985, and after that, they just
and they're all still living in 1985.
And they are the oldest football team in America. The Chicago Bears are the oldest National Football League team, and they've only got 1 ring. So suck on that, Combs. That's how I feel about your boys.
Suck on that, Suckies McSuckerton.
So this is my favorite thing that I was so excited to bring up today. And you know this. I cannot wait to talk about this. Travis Kelce. Travis
Kelce.
It's so weird. Well, I don't want to introduce it like that. So, okay, so I'll just say this. Here we go. We'll restart. Travis Kelce, in quotes, was on a sports interview. I think it was a Barstool Sports interview. And he's in the car and he's talking, and they're talking to him about like some understandings. He's like, well, the biggest misunderstanding of my career is my name. And he's like, what? He goes, my name has been pronounced wrong since day one that I entered the league. You pronounce it Kels, not Kelsey.
No, it was pronounced Kelsey, not Kels. It's always been pronounced Kelsey.
Yeah, it's always been pronounced Kelsey, not Kel. Yeah, but that's what he said. He said you pronounce it Kels, not Kelsey.
No,
like he's saying like
no, they
that's
pronounce
how you're supposed to say it.
They pronounce it Kelsey, but it's pronounced Kels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said that though.
That's not what you said though. You literally said it backwards.
He said that you're supposed to pronounce it Kels, and they've been pronouncing it Kelsey, is what I was saying.
Right, and you just said they should be pronouncing it Kelsey, not Kels. Like, you literally went backwards.
I did?
That one. You did. Like, you said it backwards.
Anyways, I thought it was hilarious that this whole time he's been called Kelsey, not Kels. And Jason Kelsey, too, his brother. I just said it, Kelsey.
Kels. Jason Kels. Travis Kels.
How many broadcasters next year, how many times do you think that there's a slip up and he's called Kelsey? Because he's on the Chiefs.
I set the over-under at 75. Book it, Vegas.
You got to do 75.5. That way Vegas either, there's a guaranteed win.
75.5.
There is no pushes, okay? That does not exist.
So that's at least 4 times a game.
I could see that. I mean, I could definitely see that because everybody's pronounced it Kelsey for all these years. There's literally 2 of them. They're brothers, Jason and Travis. There was a show called Keeping Up with the Catching Kelsey. That's what it was. It was called Catching Kelsey. It was like The Bachelor for him.
Yeah,
Catching
it was like
Kelsey.
a reality show, like so he
right. And the show was called Catching Kelsey. Like, he's had so long to set the record straight, never has. So I cannot wait to watch NFL games this year and hear them go, Travis Kelce with the catch, or Kels, sorry about that. He just changed it this year, of course, and hear them try and like break it down in some way. But I just thought it was hilarious. Like, one of the top tight ends, arguably the best tight end, if not best, he's top 2 tight ends in the league, has been called the wrong name this entire time, and he's never said a word.
Him and his brother both are like, yeah, that's not really our last name.
And both of them are rather popular NFL players. Jason Kels is loved in Philly. They love him there. He is their hungry dog.
Jason,
do what?
Jason, if you're listening, we would love to have you on the show. Just contact me.
Right.
_Torry.
Right. But Jason is this guy who is beloved by the Philadelphia community. Then you've got Travis, who's beloved by the Kansas City community, and they're both loved by the Cincinnati community where they played in college. And at no point throughout this entire they've been playing since they played their first snap of college football, it's probably been 15 years now. We've had a 15-year extravaganza now that they've been on national television, and they've been called Kelsey this entire time, and nobody has ever said anything. Patrick Mahomes' mom, he was called Patty Mahomes, and his mom came after the broadcaster for Monday Night Football while on live television. She went after him on Twitter. They announced it live on television. Yeah. And the Kelsey family the Kels now, They have let this go on this entire time, and they've never once said a word. I find that hilarious. I mean, like I said, you would think at some point, somewhere along the road, somebody in their family would have said it something. But moving on now, we're going to get into our final headline of the night. Then we've got the very long shop talk. So like I said, save all those sports-related questions. We will get to every single one that we can. The last one here, a little bit of a sensitive subject again. But Marty Brennaman, longtime sports broadcaster for the Cincinnati Reds, father of Tom Brennaman, who, of course, did have some issues with some language on live television, and he did get kicked off. But Marty releases a couple of days ago, says he wishes that his son, talking about Tom, he wishes that his son's employer was as forgiving as Stephen A's employer, of course, because Stephen A said the remark about Shohei Ohtani having an interpreter, and he made the comment of, you shouldn't be playing sports if you got basically just made fun of him for having an interpreter.
Yeah. If you need an interpreter, you shouldn't be playing the sport.
Right. Basically just made fun of him for that. And Marty Brennaman says he wishes that his son's employer was as forgiving as Stephen A's employer. And does this, we'll stay away from the whole race issue because I know that this is going to be tied into that in some way, but we're going to avoid that completely. My main question here, and the main thing I wanted to go over is, does Tom Brennaman get another shot as a MLB or NFL or college football, any kind? Does he get another shot as a broadcaster?
I will say eventually. Eventually, time heals all wounds. The only person that gets popped and is screwed forever is the first person. And Ray Rice has already paid that price. You've seen player after player after player since Ray Rice get a second chance. But Ray Rice was the first players to get popped for it. So
Tom was kind of the first broadcaster to get popped, though.
Right, but eventually, again, at that point, broadcasting a little bit different versus players. But I think eventually they forget. Marv Albert was what? Chastised for biting a prostitute. Like, whatever. And 4 years later, like, Marv Albert's back. Oh, on whatever channel he was on.
Right.
So,
right, no.
When it comes to broadcasting, eventually it's all is forgiven.
See, and I agree 50-50 with you. I think that he will get another shot. I think that time does heal all wounds. But I don't think that this is necessarily his employer's fault. Tom Brennaman had the opportunity to apologize, and he did on live air. But do you know what he did right in the middle of that apology? Castellanos goes deep into left field. That's a home run. He stopped his apology to call a home run. Basically saying, like, I don't care. This has nothing to do with an employer.
Being forced to do this.
Right. This has nothing to do with an employer. So Marty can go ahead and stop that now. This has nothing to do at all with an employer, and everything to do with the apology. What did Stephen A do? Stephen A came out live on air on his show, First Take, took 5 minutes of the show to sincerely apologize and to sincerely break everything down and talk about it and apologize multiple times to Shohei Ohtani, the Asian community, everything along with that issue that they had. And
stop Asian hate.
Right. And Tom didn't. And I like Tom. Tom's a great broadcaster. He really is. He's got one of those iconic voices that everyone knows. Whether if you know his name or not, you've heard that guy call a game. I promise. So it's a unfortunate situation, but this has nothing to do with an employer. And this has everything to do with the apology and the situation. And it just, the way that Tom Brennaman apologized made it seem like he didn't care. Like he was made to do it. He didn't want to do it. And that is the reason why he's not got a second opportunity. That's the reason why he was fired immediately and terminated. It did have something to do with what he said, because you should never say what he said, which I'm not going to repeat on air. If you need to Google it, whatever, do it for you. But it has nothing to do with it does have something to do, but not completely to do with what he said. That's not the main point here. The apology is everything. When you come out and you break everything down like Stephen A did, and you're like, hey, look, I especially Stephen A, a guy who has so many opinions on racism and everything going into that right now in our world. And he always says that. He says, but Drew Bruschi says, Torry, who got screwed in the NFL with an interpreter, Kenny Walker for the Broncos, sign language.
Anybody that knows anything about football knows about Kenny Walker. Kenny Walker was the first deaf player to play in the NFL. And I am going to agree 100% with Drew here that he was screwed because the interpreter screwed up what he said. And it got misinterpreted as not good.
I've never even seen that before.
Kenny Walker played in the early 90s. So I believe he was drafted
I know of
in
the
91.
name. I know of the name because I remember Derek Coleman, who played for
the Nets,
Seattle. He played out there for them as a fullback. Remember, he was deaf as well, and they kind of brought up him. So I know the name, but I don't know the situation. So I'll have to Google that one before I give any opinions on it.
Google the Kenny Walker issue.
Okay, I will absolutely do that. But
he got screwed as the first ever deaf player because his interpreter screwed up the sign language.
Wow, that's horrible. But nonetheless, we'll get off the dark topic before we head to
dark.
Right. Before we started and ended on some dark topics with Richard Sherman, then with Dwayne Haskins. Now we're talking about this, but it's sports. It's what's going on in our world. We've got to talk about it. But the big thing I wanted to bring up before we headed to our final break, before we started shop talk, Torry, Jock Peterson was just traded from the Chicago Cubs. I've got the information here, to the Braves for a minor league first baseman. So that is to replace that covers two topics we talked about. That is to replace, not replace fully, but to try and fill that hole of Acuna being out. That's exactly what that's there for. Do you think so?
I do, but it's also the start of the fire sale. Because what does that say for the Cubs? Anthony Rizzo may be on his way out the door that they traded for a first base prospect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I said,
absolutely think so.
We talked about it last night. I think all of their core, except for Javi Baez and maybe Hendricks, get traded.
And I'll add one more name to that. I think Javi goes, and I think Contreras stays. I think Contreras stays. Javi goes. I think Bryant's gone. I think the entire infield, first base, second base, and third baseman are gone. Except Javi Baez stays. And then Jock Peterson now on the move. But speaking of Jock Peterson, do you think that this fills the hole, or is they're trying to fill the hole for the Atlanta Braves? Because we talked about that once Acuna got hurt. We had talked about Freddie Freeman have to step up and be the guy for this Braves team. And now they're bringing in Jock Peterson, who has a slug. I mean, he can absolutely bat very well. And he plays center field very well. He did very well for the Dodgers and not the exact production maybe that the Cubs were wanting because he's out the door quick. But that also could be a part of the fire sale coming, as you mentioned. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that this has to do with Acuna being out, and I think that this is the Braves saying, hey, we're still contenders. Basically telling the fans and the team, don't give up. We're still contenders. We're still in this. Freeman can lead us. Peterson can try and fill that hole. Of course, you're not going to fill the hole.
Who said they would? Who said that they would still be contenders?
I think the organization's saying that with this move.
Who said that on the show though?
Oh, you. I thought you were saying I was like I don't think anybody has said it throughout the public yet, but
they are in stand pat mode where they will try to fill their holes and they will still try to compete.
Sure.
Because
they've done just that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They have the chips to give up to try to still compete.
They absolutely do. And this is kind of the move that looks like it's headed that way. But I'm just interested to see what they do with Jock Peterson at the end of the year when Acuna comes back.
Acuna's not coming back this year.
No, I mean like at the end of the year once the season's over with.
He's got a torn ACL. There's no way he makes it back in time for the playoffs. 0%.
No, I mean when the season is over, like playoffs and everything, off season starts.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like when the off season starts, I'm interested to see what they do with him, or they can maybe move him to left field, and he could play left field, and it's also another bat to add to the lineup. You get Acuna back. That's two nice batters, as well as two great outfielders, for that team. So I don't know if they keep him. I don't know if they'll get rid of him, but we'll get into that as we get closer to that deadline. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that'll happen until then. But with that being said, we're going to head to our fourth break. When we come back, we have got the famous shop talk, which we did not get to do last night, which we do apologize for. But we're having an extended, long shop talk tonight for the time that we missed.
100% we blame that on Buck.
Yes.
Because we were running fine until Buck showed up on the show. And all of a sudden it went bloop.
We were, but as soon as the broadcast ends, I know you guys can't see it on our end, but a little icon comes up that asks us to rate the broadcast. It's like, how was this broadcast? Thumbs up or thumbs down? And when that comes up, you know that it's over. So I'm like, what happened? I click off it. Torry looks at me and goes, why'd you end it? I'm like, I didn't end it. What are you asking me for?
And then we're like, it had to be Buck, because the only common denominator there was Buck left and the show ended.
Right. Which I called Buck earlier today, and I was giving him crap about it. But nonetheless, for that time that we missed, we're going to jump.
What didn't you do with Buck today? Let's talk about what you forgot to do today.
What'd I forget?
The new intro. You're like, I'll ask Buck about it tomorrow.
Well,
I got to give you crap about it.
Yeah,
not that it's that big of a deal.
Yeah,
but I like the beat of the new intro.
It's a good one. I apologize. I will get that on here.
Be better. Be better.
I will be better. So I apologize about that. When we come back, though, we'll have shop talk where we get to interact with you, the fans. So we appreciate everything you guys do for us. So we kind of wanted to give back since we didn't get to do that last night. So we're going to have a 30-minute shop talk segment like we've mentioned. When we come back, we're going to answer every single sports-related question that we can get to before we end the show here. So be sure to type those in right now. I can see the chat's going crazy right now. We appreciate it. Send all those in. We'll get to every single one that we can. We will see you back in 2 minutes.
ManHourRadio.com.
And welcome back to Man Hours. We are about ready to jump into some shop talk. So just going over the comments here. I don't even know where to start. But I'm going to scroll up, as far as I can go here. And we have got our first one from 9:30. Will be next season before he comes back. The value of his cards are tanking. Oh, he's talking about Acuna. Let's see here. Oh, Combs is chiming in here. Combs says Peterson's a free agent at the end of the 1-year deal. All right, so he might not be returning to the Braves if they don't make a move on him. Also, Tom Brenneman made a statement in a private conversation that got him on a hot mic. Stephen A made a premeditated statement. Difference is Brenneman is white and Stephen A is black. So Combs making it part of the race issue. But there is definitely going to be a lot of speculation on that, I'm sure. But did you hear that, Torry?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think?
I think Combs is wrong. Wrong.
But, we are in Shop Talk, so be sure to comment all those sports-related questions that you've got, and we will get to every single one that we can. We got Facebook users here saying, Peterson's on a 1-year deal. He is free agent at the end of the year. Here we go. Oh, here we go. We got Combs saying, no speculation, it's truth. New Wyatt quote, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone people like me.
The old Stuart Smiley.
Absolutely.
Wyatt, did you look up what boysenberry was today?
No, I forgot.
No!
I completely forgot. So I got to look up Kenny Walker, and I've got to look up it's Boys in Blue, right?
Boysenberry.
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 Oh, so it's not in. It's Boys and Berry.
Boysenberry.
I'm confuzzled.
You're from Indiana. How do you not heard of boysenberry? I just want to know that.
It's really not. It's not here. It is?
It has to.
I'm gonna.
It's a Midwestern thing.
I'm looking this up now.
I'm really disappointed.
Here we go. Okay, so it's like boys in
Boysenberry. I guarantee you, if you've ever been to IHOP, every IHOP in the world has a boysenberry sauce or syrup. Excuse me.
Boysenberry. Yeah, no, I've never seen it. I will go though and check it out. And Combs says you guys are lucky. There's no phone line.
Brandon, you don't know how to dial a phone number. You're from Chicago.
Combs, call me and I will put it on speaker and put it up to my mic. I will have you and Torry hash this out now. That would be wild. But Combs, I want to know what you think, man. I didn't see what you said earlier on the group chat. What do you think about the whole Tom Brady thing? Do you think it's real? I know, of course, like we mentioned, Buck does not believe it. He thinks that it's Tom Brady faking, I guess. So
Buck also believes in QAnon, so
Buck probably believes in Bigfoot. He probably thinks that Bigfoot is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Buck's like the earth is flat.
The earth is flat. He probably does think
that. Prove me wrong.
Right.
Okay, Kyrie.
Right. Do you what is the craziest conspiracy theory you've ever heard a sports star say? Is that it? I think that's it for me.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm trying to go through conspiracy theories in my head, but I think Kyrie going like the earth is flat has to be the dumbest thing that any athlete has ever said.
It's crazy, but Combs says it's Brady
legend.
If
you're listening, come on the show and prove me wrong, buddy.
Wait, hold on, say it again.
I said, Kyrie, if you're listening, come on the show and prove me wrong, buddy.
Kyrie, okay. Hot take. You ready for this? I'm not a big Kyrie fan at all. Do you like Kyrie?
I don't mind him.
Hold on. I like the way he plays. Watching him play is fun as a player. But as a teammate, I think
Oh.
Ben Simmons is more valuable than Kyrie Irving is.
I will agree with that because Kyrie Irving can't play defense at all.
That's where I'm at too. We got Wyatt Theodoros. I'm mad talking about the boysenberry, and it's syrup. It's like berry flavored syrup.
Yes, it's called boysenberry.
That
It's an
does
actual
sound pretty
berry.
good. I'm not gonna lie. Drew says he
it
likes
is
Kyrie. Wait, wrong guy. No, I don't. Watch this statement retract itself. I like Kyrie.
Wait, wrong
Wait,
guy.
Wrong guy.
No,
I don't. Full turn of events. Send me link in the group chat. I'm gonna send him the link. Send him the link.
You're literally you don't have the Wyatt's phone number.
Hold on, no. I'll send him the link right now.
All right.
Here we go. This is gonna be good. Combs, I'm sending it to your messenger, man. And it's sent. There we go. We're going to have a special guest feature from Brandon Combs himself. And he said, I don't know.
Of the dumbest Chicago fan ever.
There you go. I wouldn't be able to hear Torry. I sent it to you, Combs. It's in your messenger. You got to join in. Oh, and Drew said he was thinking of Kawhi. Yes, I like Kawhi as well. I'm a big fan of Kawhi. You like Kawhi?
I like Kawhi. I really like Kawhi. Kawhi is a good person.
Kawhi is one of those guys that like you just can't dislike, unless if you're a Spurs or a Toronto fan, I guess. But other than that, and Toronto fans still like him because he brought him a ring, so they've got no reason to dislike him.
He was here for a year. We won a title. Okay.
Right. Here we go. And Javier Gonzalez says, I think Derek Jeter doing a great job. We already have the pitching, and he's the best farm system. Oh, and the best farm system. All we need is hitting. I assume he's talking about the Marlins?
Marlin.
Yeah. But ever since lost Giancarlo Stanton. Combs, what are you doing, man? You got to get on here. How long does it take?
No, ever since they lost Yelich.
Here we go, Combsy.
They traded Yelich for a bag
what
of peanuts.
is going on right now with you guys?
Combsy,
this
what's
is
going on?
Viewership is up. People love watching this show.
The truth. You're supposed to be telling people the truth. So you want to sit there and say that I'm wrong because Stephen A. didn't get fired because he's black and Tom Brenneman did because he's white. It's the absolute
because
truth.
he came out and apologized.
I am staying
So
out of the race issue.
Tom
That's all I'm
Brenneman
saying.
Came out and apologized too. But the difference is Tom Brenneman was white and Stephen A. was black. ESPN is not going to go and fire their most prominent black analyst over something like this. But Tom Brennan was expendable because he was the white guy in the booth. Tom Brenneman's statement was said in a private conversation and got caught in a hot mic. Stephen A. actually wrote down his thoughts and said it on a live TV show. Tell me what the difference is. Rush Limbaugh, when he said that stuff about Donovan McNabb, got fired the next day. Tom Brenneman got fired the next day. But the same damn thing comes out of Stephen A.'s mouth. Can't say nothing to Stephen A. It's okay. You apologize. You're good.
You sound salty.
Silence. I'm just telling the truth. People want to sit there and say that it's not political agenda. It absolutely is. ESPN has political agenda. The media has political agenda. That's what they do. But don't sit there and say, oh, you don't avoid the topic. If you're going to talk about the topic, tell the truth about the topic.
Wait, is BCJ there? There's BCJ.
BCJ.
Hey, BCJ. Why don't you come on and talk normal, unlike your father?
So, Combsy, how's it going with like 7 kids in the house, man?
Right. Don't you have like 35 kids now?
I've got 38, but it's going good. 38 kids, 37 moms.
So I'm gonna need you to step up and be a full timer next week, buddy.
How much is your child support every month, dude?
I can't do it, man. I pay a lot. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, that's
My
pretty.
Lord.
That's a pretty crappy question to ask right there, Wyatt.
Yeah.
That's not a good question to ask.
He said he's got 38 kids with 38 different moms. That is one heck of
I
a
said
child
37
support
different
payment.
It's got 37 moms, 38 kids. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
come on.
okay.
I'm not a whore.
37 is that benchmark. You cannot pass 38. Once you pass 38, that's when you have issues. But 37, you're fine.
37, you're okay.
Oh man, I miss you guys, man. Look,
So-
the Cubs.
Oh, we miss you
Josh
too, man.
Peterson, the Cubs are starting the fire sale. I don't agree with you though. Rizzo stays because there's no way you're not going to get rid of a first baseman who's 34 years old with back problems. I don't think anybody's going to take him on.
I bet they find an AL team to take him. The only one I think they keep, the only two I think they keep is Hendricks and Javi.
You want to know
Because they're
something? And I love Javi. You want to hear a bombshell here? Crosstown trade. Javier Baez goes to the White Sox
to
to
the White
fulfill their
Sox.
second base hole. They got a huge hole at second base, and Javi plays a Gold Glove second base. So
It's true.
It would be a
Zach-
rental because he's a free agent at the end of the year, and I think the Cubs are going to let Javi go and get what they can for him, and then try to go after him in free agency, since they have to up him anyway. But I mean, it's kind of like the Quintana deal when the White Sox got Eloy Jimenez for Quintana. The White Sox got a steal. The Cubs are going to try to do the same thing back to the White Sox with Javi, I bet.
As this is Nikki's nephew, guys. This is Zach. He says, hello,
Grinky.
Zach Attack and haha. What's going on, Zach? As well as Combs, you've got some supporters here, man. Javier comes in and says, you right, Combs.
I know.
Drew says Disney owns ESPN. There's definitely an agenda. And then here we go. This is the best one. Combs' slogan: "Don't be shy, spread the thigh." LOL.
That actually is my slogan.
That's beautiful.
I actually have it on t-shirts, and I'm getting it tatted on my abs. I mean my big belly.
I'm getting
Welcome to the
daddy's
slam
girl across
pad.
my butt cheeks.
I once had a buddy that tatted on his abs, no fat chicks. I told him, I was like, that's going to be all fun and games until you get a wife and she ends up pregnant. Because she is not going to talk to you for the rest of your life.
She is not gonna think that's funny. She is not.
Well, so it's kind of funny. It is kind of funny because, like, I actually said today, like, I was talking to one of my now former coworkers because, you know, I'm done with my job. And I said, I'm going to be making that gold digger attracting money now. And I said, once I buy a new car, it's really going to be gold digger attractor money. And she said, Tori, you can't do that. I said, I never said I was going to marry him.
Tori, you got to stop talking like that on the show because Michelle watches and she knows that you're moving to Milwaukee and that I work in Milwaukee sometimes and we're going to be hanging out. You got to stop talking like that on the show.
Michelle, we will never go to the strip club. Its name is Silk. We will never go there. I swear. I will give you my cell phone number to track.
She actually
just to
knows
make sure
that's
that
true.
Combs.
She actually knows that's true because I'll be the first one to admit I don't like strip clubs.
And I will be the second one to admit that I don't like them either.
They're nasty.
Yeah.
They are awful. I said
I've never been, but I've heard stories from like.
If I want to take a girl home, I will go to the bar and buy her 5 shots of tequila and take her home.
God.
Rather than spell
And
300.
Don't say that. Don't. Okay, canceled.
Look,
that's it.
We all froze.
Oh God, there we go. That's it right there. Canceled. Tori just got us canceled.
Demonetized.
Jesus. Tori's on Saints roofing people. What?
That's only you, Wyatt. I only roofie you.
That's only me. Zach says, Wyatt, what's up, Zach? He says it's Zach. What's going on, bub? How's Ohio? Combs abruptly left us, I guess. But just remember, we're in Shop Talk. We will answer all of your sports-related questions. Just be sure to drop them down below, and I will bring them up on the screen. We'll talk about it. But man, this show is I like to credit this show as a mental vacation from politics. And man, we just got political just a second ago.
Political? We were talking about strip clubs.
Right. Then we went to strip clubs here as we've got Brandon, sorry, boys, lost the feed. It's okay. You've got my Walmart Wi-Fi, I guess, that I had. I don't have it anymore. I'm at my grandma's house right now watching her house, so I don't have those old Walmart Wi-Fi issues, like some of us. Tori, you might not have Walmart Wi-Fi for sure, man. You're going to be working for your own Wi-Fi.
I guarantee I will not have Walmart Wi-Fi. Because when I get my way, I may pay like $10 a month for like really good internet.
Right. Well, you know what they say about really good internet. It's well done.
It's well done.
It's well done.
And if you guys don't know what well done is, look it up.
Be sure to read it. It's single-handedly the greatest book of all time. I mean, you can't beat it.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, if you're a leader and you want to be a better leader, read Well Done.
If you're not a leader and you want to become a leader, read Well Done.
Well Done.
No matter what, after you finish
really
Well
hope
Done,
my new employer never listens to this show. I will be fired in 3 seconds.
Right. Like, Tori got a new job and Tori doesn't have a new job.
And Tori's now, no job. Hey, Buck,
Go ahead.
Buck, we need to make money off the show immediately because I lost my job because of you.
Tori, today was your last day at work. You went out flipping everybody off, saying F you, all that stuff. On Monday morning, you walk back through the door. Hey, guys, I'm really sorry. Do you guys have any openings?
F you.
Has anybody filled my office yet?
Can I apply for my job? Can I apply for my old job?
Are you guys having applications for my old job? But like I said a minute ago, this is Shop Talk. We're nearing our end of Shop Talk, so be sure to throw in all those sports-related questions that you've got. We'll get to every single one that we can. As Zach says, canceled. Yes, Zach, we are going to get canceled.
That is a nightly basis, Zach. Are you Zach Wilson?
Live
if you're Zach Wilson,
uncut.
You're trash.
Zach Wilson is not trash. Zach Wilson
will be out of the league in 5 years.
No, he won't. He's going to be good for the Jets. And Javier says, well done. What the hell, LOL? I got a job for you here in Miami, LOL. Okay, Tori.
All right, I'm going. I've already been fired from my new job. I'm going to work for Javi.
There you go.
I'm good at two things.
Stacks on the books.
I know how to beat people up, and I know how to shoot them. That's it.
What?
True story. What I said to unemployment one time.
Jesus. But hey, like he said earlier, he's got 5. Let me see if I can find that real quick. He said earlier he's got 5 stacks on the Bucks. So, I mean, Tori, he's got that big money. If you want the big money, you can do that. Here we go. Bucks going to take it. I got 5 stacks on it. There it is. Got it out there. And then he says,
I put $10 on Nigeria in one.
Didn't you win like $2,500?
$2,500.
Betting against our country. What a patriot.
And the only patriots serve this country, Wyatt. If you didn't serve, you ain't nobody.
Guy serves in our military, supports our country in the best way he possibly can, then turns around and makes a basketball bet against them. And wins. That's the worst thing, is he wins.
Because that's all I do is win, no matter what.
You have money on your mind?
I think that's a lyric to a song. Demonetized.
You're right. There's our second version of canceled here. Before we get off. But we got about another 2 or 3 minutes before Shop Talk's over. Comment all those sports-related questions. We will get to every one that we can before we have to hop off here. And, Tori, we're seeing the end of the tunnel for the Torry and Wyatt takeover week because, Combs
I am
and
very
Buck
sad.
I know, me too, man. I had so much fun with you this week. Talking sports, talking live, raw, uncut, 2 Green Bay Packers fans.
And it was Grandpa with the youngin' all week long. So The one thing that we have had kind of major disagreement on this week is about the Bucks and the Suns. I really, really, really want to know what your prediction is on the rest of the series for this, because you give the new school approach versus my old school approach.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what Wyatt thinks on this whole thing, because I am old school. I know absolutely everything. I am almighty. You know what? Man Hour Nation, rise up. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Peace out. Torry Wyatt Takeover's over.